Welcome back my YouTube channel Old Car Stories. Today, we take you on a journey back in time to explore history. This car, 1970 Dodge Super Bee United States, stands as one of the most iconic muscle cars to roll out of Detroit during the golden age of American performance vehicles. It was a time when power, style, and individuality defined the streets, and Dodge made sure it had something bold and unmistakable to offer. With its aggressive stance and unmistakable design, the Super Bee became a symbol of raw American horsepower. Introduced originally in 1968 as a budget-friendly muscle car under the Dodge lineup, the Super Bee was based on the Bee body platform and took inspiration from its Plymouth counterpart, the Road Runner. But by 1970, Dodge had refined the Super Bee's identity into something truly distinctive. The 1970 model year brought both cosmetic updates and performance options that elevated its reputation. One of the first things that set the 1970 Super Bee apart was its new front-end design. Gone was the traditional split grille from earlier models. In its place came the unique bumblebee front, commonly referred to as the Coke bottle or divided grille look. This gave the car a bold, somewhat controversial appearance, but one that made it instantly recognizable on the road. The car's body featured classic muscle car cues, a long hood, short deck, and sculpted lines that gave it a muscular, almost predatory look. The twin-scooped hood added an aggressive edge, hinting at the power that lay underneath. It was available as either a coupe or a hardtop, with various trim options that allowed buyers to personalize their Super Bee to fit their style and budget. Under the hood, Dodge offered a range of powerful engines. The base engine was the 383 cubic inch Magnum V8, delivering 335 horsepower, a solid performer by any standard. But for those who craved more, the Super Bee could be optioned with the legendary 446 pack, which featured 3 two-barrel carburetors and produced a thrilling 390 horsepower. At the top of the performance chain sat the mighty 426 HEMI, one of the most revered engines in automotive history. With 425 horsepower and a monstrous 490 lb-ft of torque, the HEMI-powered Super Bee could accelerate from 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds, a staggering feat for the time. It was the kind of power that made the Super Bee a street legend. Transmission options included a 4-speed manual with a Hurst shifter or a 3-speed TorqueFlite automatic. Enthusiasts often favored the manual for its raw, connected driving experience, while the automatic offered smooth performance without sacrificing speed. Either way, the car delivered a thrilling ride. The suspension setup was surprisingly refined for a muscle car. Heavy-duty torsion bars up front and leaf springs in the rear provided a stable and planted feel. With front disc brakes and optional rear drums, stopping power was reliable, though not exactly modern by today's standards. Still, for its time, the Super Bee held its own on both straightaways and curves. Inside, the 1970 Super Bee was functional but stylish. The dashboard featured a simple, driver-focused layout with a sweeping speedometer and optional rally gauges. Bench seats came standard, but buyers could opt for bucket seats with a center console for a sportier feel. The materials weren't luxurious, but they had a rugged charm that matched the car's bold personality. One of the most unique elements of the Super Bee was its logo, a cartoon-like bumblebee with racing tires and an aggressive stance. It wasn't just a marketing gimmick, it gave the car personality. The Bee was proudly displayed on the rear quarter panels and was often complemented by a bold bumblebee stripe that wrapped around the back of the car. Color choices were another hallmark of the era. The 1970 Super Bee came in a variety of eye-catching, high-impact colors, including names like Plum Crazy, Go Mango, Sublime, and Panther Pink. These vivid paints helped owners stand out in a crowd and made the car even more memorable. Pricing in 1970 was another attractive factor. The Super Bee was meant to be an affordable muscle car for the average driver. Starting around $3,000, it offered big performance for a relatively small investment. That balance of price and power helped it gain a loyal following among younger drivers and racing enthusiasts. Despite all of its strengths, 1970 marked the final year that the Super Bee would be based on the Coronet body. In 1971, Dodge shifted it to the Charger platform, where it took on a very different appearance and direction. For many collectors and fans, the 1970 version is considered the last true Super Bee in its original form. Production numbers for the 1970 model were relatively limited. Just over 15,000 units were built, making it rarer than many of its contemporaries. Of those, only a small fraction came with the 426 HEMI, making those versions especially sought after in today's collector market. In the decades since, the 1970 Dodge Super Bee has become a prized possession among muscle car collectors. Its combination of aggressive styling, powerful engine choices, and unique identity within the Mopar family have solidified its legacy. It's a car that demands attention and earns respect wherever it goes. Classic car shows across the United States still showcase beautifully restored Super Bees, with enthusiasts gathering to share stories, compare details, and celebrate one of Dodge's most memorable creations. Whether bone stock or mildly modified, these cars continue to capture the imagination of gearheads both young and old. Today, the Super Bee name lives on in spirit through various modern Dodge models, including limited edition Chargers and Challengers that pay homage to the original. But for purists, nothing quite matches the raw charm and visceral feel of the 1970 model. It was, and remains, a true muscle car in every sense of the word. In the end, the 1970 Dodge Super Bee wasn't just about speed, it was about attitude. It represented an era when automakers dared to be bold, when design and performance came together to create something unforgettable. And for those lucky enough to own or drive one, it's a chapter in automotive history that will never be forgotten.